Anyway, we'll just get straight into it. Fucking. I like doing this before saying anything funny because I always get into the situation where I'm like, we've said 30,000 funny things, and then the mic starts, and I go, "So what are you at this week?" and all, like, you know. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the User Hectic Podcast. This week's episode, we have the hilarious Dan Leith.
Hello.
I'll add it in something there. So Dan is you would call you an alternative music or an alternative comedian, would you? Or what way would you describe your own comedy?
Yeah, alternative musical comedian. I think
that's
that's about right.
Get that in a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you would do a lot with what would be your main preference of instrument to be used? Because I say you would like you would mostly. I've seen you do it while ukulele a lot, but that would be in open mics and stuff. So
Yeah, but ukulele's the easiest thing because it's so transportable. Like you can just
yeah.
just lift it and take it anywhere with you.
You're not bringing a cello into the front seat
Exactly.
of a car.
I mean, I could bring a guitar with me I've got several songs on guitar, but I'm just lazy, really, to be honest.
Fair enough.
And I'm not even gonna talk about the piano. Save that for the big shows.
That's how you get them situations where pianos fall on people and shit. You know
Yes, exactly.
I mean? Those for the big shows. Speaking of which, just plug it straight out the gate because people usually watch for the first half an hour anyway, and then they just like, tune out because it's usually quite what would the word be, like we go left, right, and center on this a lot. So like every episode we start off with one topic. Like when we record with Adam Byrne, it's the worst because we'll start off with the topic and it'll be like, "Oh, fucking spaghetti in your asshole," and then it's like by the end of the episode, it's like, yeah, so that's why suicide is the main cause of, like, you know, you're like, what the fuck just happened there? So yeah, we'll see what I mean. We'll just plug it straight out the gate. You are doing a show in the Mac.
That's correct.
What is the name of the show?
The show is called Peninsula. It's on the 13th of May. Saturday, 13th of May.
Unreal.
So
coming up close.
Coming up.
Yeah, this will probably be out at the end of this week anyway. So yeah, we'll definitely be able to.
Brilliant. So it's not a redundant plug.
Yeah. The amount of times I'm all, come see this gig, and they're like, it was 2 weeks ago. I was like, oh yeah, fuck. Yeah, so Peninsula and the Mac on the 13th of May. I actually did the poster for it, so no. And who was the guy who took the photos for that?
Two different people actually. One's Mike Lockhart, who
one held the camera and one pressed the button. That's what. Like.
No, two different occasions. But
you stood there on one occasion, then he went back and took the photo on the next.
No, I was working with a guy, Mike Lockhart, who's like, he's a fabulous, like, he's a focus puller for film and TV and stuff like that. So he's got a great eye, and then because we're mates, I basically got him to do music videos for me.
Oh shit, yeah.
So I did like 2 really high quality music videos with him.
Unreal.
And then when I needed some photographs for promo for Peninsula, I was just like, can you just can I use your eye?
Yeah, I'll put Dan's like stuff in the description anyway, so if you're looking to get tickets to that or whatever, just one I want to plug is the User Hectic Live podcast coming up 26th of May. That will be with me, Adam Byrne, Kieran Franco and Pete Giffen, and then some stand-up spots, whoever is there really on the night. So it was, you know, I say that all the open micers watching this now will be all, oh, free gig, mate, I'll show up. Not like I don't already have planned who's doing it, but yeah, so if you want to do that, 22nd of May in the Sunflower Bar in Belfast, wherever the fuck it is. But yeah, no, that should be good. Anyway, what's the crack with you, man? How you been?
Fine, I guess, you know, just like having to deal with self-promotion, which I hate. I mean, I'm a comedian. It should be about self-deprecation, not self-promotion.
And I know, it's like your whole thing is like, oh, look at me, I'm a dick, and then you're like, but come see me, please. You know, like you have to like really like sell yourself on it. It's kind of depressing, that end of it, especially because it comes across as like for people who sort of know you, have known you before you did it or whatever, you know, they sort of look at you and go, who the fuck do you think you are, you know? And then like you're just there going, come to my show, and they're like, fuck off, no, you didn't subscribe to my Neil page on Facebook. And that's
and I'm terrible at like going to other things as well. So like I don't know why I expect anyone to fucking come to my show. But
I know, but we did the American Bar there recently together. So we did the American Bar with Jack McGee, Heather Anderson and Claire Johnson, and then Ross Mitchell was emceeing it. I had to leave before like the end of it, so I had to leave before the break actually. So how did your set go in that?
I mean, really well. I mean, I think at that point the crowd were quite
You're welcome.
drunk. Yes, I'm so grateful. No, I think they've just gotten to a certain degree of drunkenness, and there was this like Canadian girl who was sitting in the front.
Yeah.
And,
how did she go through the rest of it? Because when I was talking to her, she was quite, I'm Canadian, and you're like, you're gonna be fucked.
Oh, she was fucked. I mean, that's entirely what happened. Like, I started my set and I was trying some new stuff, and she was loving it. She was like, I love him so much. And then about like 20 seconds in, just started to whitey. Was just like being propped up by her boyfriend, and then
you were like trying to sing, and you were like,
"Is she okay?"
Want to get her
like,
out?
Had to stop mid song, like Tom York of Radiohead, just being like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 sort this girl out, man."
He learned from Travis Scott. That's what you did.
Yeah.
If he had did that, those people wouldn't have died. Anyway, that was rough. Anyway, that gig went very well. I did 10 minutes of crowd work.
Oh, you did. You went up there to do something, and then you did something completely different.
I was like, oh, what material am I going to use? And I went, none. And I went up and started ranting about like my dickhead ex-boss. And I was like, and like everything I said there on that night, like not scripted at all. I just went up and I was like, I fucking hate my boss. This is what I'm going to say about her.
Well, I mean, it's free therapy comedy, isn't
exactly.
it? You know. And
I got like 4 minutes of material out of it that I did again in Ben Madigan's in front of Dave Elliott and Aaron Butler, and it bombed. So I was like, oh shit, fuck that bit then. So yeah, I'll give it the best of 3. Like, I'll do it one more time, and if it's shite, then fuck that. But yeah, how did you originally get into like musical aspects?
But this is a very good question.
I know it's very generic, but like because I was going to ask you how do you get into comedy, but I assume that came after the music. You didn't just go, I'm going to do comedy one day, and he goes, fuck, I need to learn guitar. You know, like
I don't know what the fuck happened. Like, I knew I was coming on this podcast, and I was like, I'm going to have to know the answers about myself. Like, jeez. But I started out as an actor.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Right. Okay.
So like I was,
and then you were like, "Fuck, I need to learn guitar here." So
well, no, I guess I started playing. I guess I started playing guitar first because my dad always played guitar. So
right.
I like learned how to play guitar and but I didn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
And then I started
just
acting.
One of the things you just had in the catalog.
Yeah. I think I started making like stupid songs at Christmas time with some friends, and we just get around, and I think I made like 15 Christmas EPs or something,
right?
Like, and the first 3 of which have Joshua Burnside on it. If you don't know who that is, he's like a folk artist from here. He's actually becoming massive now.
Is he?
Yeah. So I'm just gonna hold him there to blackmail him because I'm pretty sure there's stuff on there.
Show people these. Let me open for you. I will show people. Like, yeah. No, that's cool. I didn't realize that you were an actor before this. Did you ever do anything, or was it just like stage work? Or
I did stage work. I was a stand-in for on Game of Thrones.
Really?
For Kit Harington.
Fuck off.
I was Shit Harrington. Which is a nickname I coined myself, and unfortunately it stuck. I'm
actually like very confused if this is true or not. Was this actually a thing? Like you were?
This was actually a thing. Yeah.
You were standing for Kit Harington.
Yeah.
You were meant to be Jon Snow.
Well,
I said Jon No, like, but
yeah, exactly. Shit Harrington, Jon No. Keep them coming. Yeah.
I'm the fucking king of the north, and I'm your peasant in the north. No, holy fuck, that's actually crazy. I can't even like comprehend that. You do look like a bit like him though. This kind of.
Well, I mean, that's what they needed me for. It's like being like similar.
Were they like, we need a stunt double for him here, and you were like, I look like him. Like, can you do stunts? And you were like, maybe, I don't know, let's try it.
No, it wasn't as exciting as all that anyway, because it was basically they just set up the camera and the lights.
Oh, right.
And then I get off set and be like, it's all yours, Kit. They've got it all set for the shots. So he didn't have to do that. So,
so
it's really not that glamorous. I was basically just a prop.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. You were just there to taste the lighting. But even at that, that's still kind of like, did you ever get to meet any of the cast or anything?
Oh, yeah, I saw Kid all the time. Like, I mean,
did you?
Yeah.
You were just there, like, he was like, so how'd you get into music? You were like,
no, I
was an actor first, mate.
I barely spoke to him. Like, I mean, it was just kind of like, all right, man, cheers. Pleasantries.
That's fucking wild. I didn't realize that was like.
Yeah, so I did that, and then I did a bunch of theatre work. So I essentially used to write musical theatre for young audiences.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, would you have anything in the like production or the writing end of it? Because obviously a lot of your songs that you would do on stage are original pieces. So the one next, like you don't do like a Kieran Bartlett. He would do like covers.
No.
But like with comedy in it, you do like actually original songs. So
Yes, they're all originals.
yeah, which is kind of cool. I'm raging you didn't bring the ukulele.
Oh yeah, shit, that would have been a really good idea, wouldn't it?
There's 3 guitars over there, not one of which is tuned. So.
Oh, brilliant.
I know. We'll just make you a wee set of drums somewhere. But yeah, no, that's kind of cool. Like, why do you not talk about that more? Like, why is there not a bit in that somewhere?
I don't know. I haven't even started fucking thinking about it, man. But like I was just like, I should really.
You're like, fucking hot, mate.
Yeah, I should talk about a lot of this shit.
Yeah. No, that's actually really cool because like. I'm a fucking big fan of Game of Thrones. I've watched it like 4 or 5 times the whole way through, like, you know, which isn't obviously people will go, I've watched it 32 times last week, you know, but like it actually like. I don't even know. I'm a bit starstruck right now.
Oh, don't be starstruck. I was only on the first season, like, and then they got rid of me. Put on weight. It was just no good.
Oh, was it the first season then? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So that was a while ago then. As
Oh,
well,
it was. Yeah.
Oh, so you've been like in the business, in show business. You've been in Hollywood for like fucking 10+ years then. Yeah.
Yes, I've been creeping about, but bizarrely only doing comedy for like.
Yeah.
One properly.
Yeah, no, that's true. Because I only like really seen you for the first time about 6 months ago, maybe in the PAV, and then ever since I've been saying your name all left, right, and center. So you know, that's if you are like a fan of comedy as well as being the comedian, you do see the people coming up through the ranks. You know, there's some people you're like, oh, 10 years ago they were, you know, they haven't still not done a solo show, you know, and then there's like people in the last year like yourself who just, you know, are announcing solo shows and stuff. So. You know, you do appreciate that. I wouldn't have had you on otherwise. So.
Yeah, well. I mean, I did it ass backwards because I actually did a solo show before I did a stand-up.
Did you?
Club ever?
Oh,
yeah.
yes, you were telling me that before. So, like, you like before you were like, oh, I'm going to even do an open mic. You went, oh, let's do an hour-long show, or like.
I think somebody asked me. This guy Adam Turkington, who like runs events in like East Belfast and stuff like that.
I feel like I know that. Yeah,
but like he like. Books events, like runs events and stuff like that. He used to run a cabaret, and I think he'd heard me play songs at a party, and he went, Dan, do you want to do like 10-15 minutes?
Yeah.
And then I did that for him, and then after that, like, it went really well, and he went, do you think you could do a whole show? Because I'm like running these evenings in the Strand called Stranded, and I was just like, yeah, I could probably do a whole show, and then I did a whole show, which basically sold out, and then.
That's what I mean. Like, even the first time I seen you, it was like, usually you see like an open micer come on the scene, and there's not one thing that's polished about them. Like, even I've still yet to have a polished bit. You know, everything's sort of just half-assed, and I just rely on myself to be funny on stage. I'm like, hopefully I say something funny, and if I don't, fuck it, you know. And like, you came on, and it was like, I was like, this guy's doing it 10 years. You know, like, that's the songs were perfect and all. You'd like some like even it sounded like you'd done it a million times, you know. So
well, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so like I would practice enough, but then
you're
also...
like, Kit Harington's going to see this one day, and he's going to be standing on the stage before I come on testing the lights. So
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. But no, it was definitely like the first one I heard of you was cartoons.
Yeah.
Which is not to give away your material, but it was like, it's a song about you wanting to fuck cartoons.
Spoilers.
Yeah. I know, but like there's fucking like that's the tip of the iceberg.
Oh,
but
yeah,
that song
yeah.
is brilliant. Then Red Flags as well. I remember that one. That one was in my head for about 2 weeks after that. And I was like, I fucking hate this guy. What? You know, like, you ever have a hangover and a song gets stuck in your head like on repeat? Like, it loops, like it's like a fucking screensaver or something. I don't know what it is, but that was what it was like after I heard that song. I was like, it's like, oh my god, I was like in a straitjacket in a padded room, like, fucking get it out of my head, like, you know.
Yeah, no, I've been accused of writing earworms.
Yeah, that's earworms. That's what the fuck I was talking about. Yeah. No, that one, that one was fucking belter as well. So if you want to see more of that, you want to hear more of the actual joke itself, then come see him in Peninsula, in the Mac on 13th of May. So yeah, but. I'm gonna just keep dropping that in, like, a
please do.
Yeah, every now and then. Yeah. So fucking hell, that's. I'm still kind of like weirded out by the whole like Kit Harington thing, like, because now that you said that, I'm like, you look so much like Kit Harington that I'm like, what the fuck, you know? Like, there's I'm pretty sure is there one over there? Hodor. There's one of Kit Harington in here somewhere, but he's probably just dead somewhere.
That's grand. Well, I mean.
Everything else was just.
I probably needed to come in to set up the lights before you show him anyway. So it's.
Now that you've said that, I'm going like, can you get him on the podcast, or like, you know, did he not say something about Northern Ireland where he was like,
Oh
like,
yeah,
it's
everyone
like
hated him.
It was like, it's a shithole over there or something. I was like, what, mate? We're not the country you want to say that to if you're shooting here constantly, you know.
Yeah.
Especially if they're shooting that new show, Snow, as well. But probably should shoot that in like fucking. So what? Like, did they shoot all? If it was in the first season, I'm assuming it was all shot in Belfast anyway.
A lot of it was Newcastle sort of direction,
Right,
like a lot of the scenes in the woods
like
and
down
stuff like
Patrick
that.
and-
Like
yeah.
yeah.
Was that Castle Ward then?
Yeah.
Where like
so-
Winterfell is shot?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
yeah.
there recently on accident. My girlfriend, she loves doing like wee quirky things, like just that don't cost money. She pegs me. No, but like she likes to go on like Easter trails and stuff like that. Like recently, and
What is an Easter trail?
I thought it was gonna be like an Easter egg hunt.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
then she was like, like the last sign up is 4:00, and I was like, oh, the eggs are gonna be gone then. She was like, no, that's not how it works. It's like, you
how
basically-
disappointed were you on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh yeah, I was like, I thought I was gonna be like knocking out kids, mosh pitting the fuck out of them, like get the fuck away from my kinder, like but I was really sad over that, but it was like, it's a trail you go down, and then there's like Easter themed activities around it. It's like childish, but it'll put you down. It's good crack. You
Well,
know?
yeah. I
You know?
mean, it's like a walk with a purpose,
Yeah,
right?
essentially, yeah. And we were at Castle Ward, and I was like downloaded about it, and like one of the signs was like Winterfell, and I was like, like Game of Thrones, I know what I mean. And she turned around and goes, yeah, that's where they shot it, and I was like, wait, what? Because she lives like like down Patrick direction,
Okay,
like so
yeah.
she's from that end, and she was like, so she was like, yeah, no, that's Winterfell down there, and I was like, bullshit. I was like, fuck that, and I went down. It was Winterfell, but it like had all the set down, so it was just
Oh,
an
it's
old,
trees and
it was just
okay.
like the foresty bit. I was like, fuck, this is Winterfell-y, but
yeah.
like the actual castle itself, I was like, oh, this is a wall essentially. So yeah, there wasn't like a lot to do with it. But so if it was in the first season, it would have probably been all shot down there. Would it have been? Or?
Oh no, only a tiny bit, and then
was it? Yeah.
mostly in the paint hall of the Titanic,
Right.
where they built all the interior sets and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So that's
Oh
where you'd
yes,
be.
that been like in like where the shot King's Landing and stuff then, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, just
Well,
anything inside. They were just like building places.
Yeah. Welcome to the Game of Thrones podcast.
Yeah, I know.
it's
It's also one of the least favorite things I've ever done. So thanks for focusing on it so much.
No, see, this is sorry. I'm like, you said Game of Thrones, and I was all fuck.
That's why I don't tell people shit. Harrington's gonna come back as a nickname now.
He's your fucking sleep paralysis demon.
Yeah.
He's just there. He's like, we're gonna hit beyond the wall, Dan. You're just like, no, get out of my head. Fuck that. Anyway, yeah, we'll move on to from that then. So what actually? So you got into comedy through just like the guy offering you to do a full show in it?
Yeah, I did a full show, and then I was like, I really love this. The show went so well.
Yeah.
And I knew Dave Elliott from. We met during auditions for Soft Border Patrol.
Right. Oh,
I was also in that for an episode. But I don't talk
Dan,
about that
you're
either.
fucking everywhere, and like you just don't mention it at all.
I know.
You're
I'm
just
terrible
like,
at
ukulele. I'm like,
terrible
what the
at
fuck?
talking about myself. Don't know why you have the worst guest to have in a podcast ever.
They're like, oh, fucking Mickey Bartlett from Soft Border Patrol, and it's like Dan's like, I did not do that. like, what the fuck? Yeah.
But I knew like Dave then, and like I sent him a message. It was like,
Yeah.
Dave, can you stick me on in Pugs?
Yeah.
So I was on with him, and Shane Todd was on as well, and
Right.
and I did 10 minutes, but it was a really awkward gig
Yeah.
because I had recently wronged a lover. It's a strange way to say it, actually. I wronged a lover. Someone I didn't end things quite nicely with.
Oh,
and
right. I
and
was like, are you like working for Uber Eats or something?
No.
Or like,
but like her best friend was at the gig.
right.
So I was like really nervous because I was like, oh, is she gonna call me out? Like, this is my first
Yeah.
time in a comedy gig. Some of the crowds
Oh, yeah,
were rowdy.
Do you think they're going to be like in the background going, he's a fucking bastard? Like, fucking.
Yes.
Yeah.
I 100% thought that was happening. I did the set, got
Yeah.
to like 10, 12 minutes, can't remember what it was, got through it, absolutely fine, went down a treat.
Jesus.
Then there was somebody else, like a surprise comedian on at the end. I can't remember his name. He was Scouse.
Scouse.
Um,
Was it Adam Lowe, was it? Or
possibly.
Paul Smith?
I mean, you could just say names to me.
What did he, do you remember what he looked like?
He was ginger, I
Ginger?
think.
Bald or with her?
No, I think he had hair.
Might have been Paul Smith then.
Might have been Paul Smith.
Yeah.
Anyway, he started talking about some sort of, I kind of hate my wife material. And
fresh.
And then the friend of my spurned ex then chants up being like, I know your wife, and she's lovely, and I'm pretty sure she wouldn't be happy if you were doing this. And I was just like, I can't believe I got away with it. And then this guy's getting harassed, and then she turned and looked at me and went, and you see him standing at the bar?
Jesus.
I just turned with my pint, and I was like,
you were like to the guy beside you, the old guy, you were like, fuck mate, you're getting it tonight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was weird, but then I'd never touched a comedy gig until I did the PAV last year.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I already had started writing the second show at that point.
Jesus.
Which is, because I didn't know how any of it worked.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know, like, having a support act, that would have been a great idea. But now I have made this beast of a show that nothing can be changed in. It's very ambitious. There's a lot of moving parts. There's no time to have someone on.
It's called a set for a reason, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you can't, like, if it works, why change it,
Yeah, but then it's just like even coming into the terminology of like, no, people are doing an hour, and I was just like, oh, my show's 90 minutes.
You're like, I'm doing.
I could have done way less work, and I've got a friend and a companion to help me.
You were like, oh yeah, I'm doing 90 minutes, and I was like, I have 15 minutes of material after 100 gigs. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I need to work harder for one. That's you need to work less hard.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we should come to some sort of agreement, Justin.
Give me some of your material, right, and I'll give you my stage time, right? That's
you can have Kit Harington if you want.
I'll listen. At the end of the day, I'll wear him like a glove. Jesus Christ. Sorry, Mum. No, she's a big Kick to Harrington fan. She's not my dad, actually is. But he'd be alright with, because he understands. But yeah, no, that's like no support or anything. Like, you just went straight into it.
Yeah.
So what got you into like the whole, right, I'll do an open mic then? Like after that?
I actually had some friends who were going down to the PAV to try out comedy for the first time.
Right.
And I went down with them, and then started chatting to Luke, and I was like, why am I not doing comedy clubs?
And Luke slapped you in the ass and put you in front of the mic. That was
he was just like, we'll get you on. And then obviously, like, my reputation was a bit mixed. Like, some people are like, you're brand new, and some people are like, you've been doing this for a while, right? Yeah. And I'm not even sure. So, I mean, you very, with a lot of gratitude, you nominated me for Best Newcomer. Oh, and I was like, technically I did one gig in 2019 in Pugs, so and an hour show before that. Yeah, so
it was Best Alternate Comedian. I remember that.
Was it not Best Newcomer?
No, that was because I voted Kieran Franco, but Rachel McPeak won that.
Yeah,
I got.
But I was down for that as well. I assumed that was you.
No, I did Best Alternative Comedian. No, wait, it might have been Best. No, I can't remember because I voted. Fuck, which one did I vote for you? I voted.
Doesn't matter, I didn't win. 1-0. It's fine.
It might have been one of them, because I remember I won Best like Most Improved Comedian, because 6 months ago I couldn't get a single laugh out of a crowd.
Okay.
And then now I'm just like, fuck it, whatever comes out, so. But I won that, and then I remember putting you down for that, and someone down for something else, but I can't remember if it was the other way around. Anyway, yeah, good content.
Exactly, fascinating stuff.
Yeah, that was a weird night. So it was, that was like all the comedians got like drunk, but like everyone was like leaving quite early, and then there was just like 6 of us standing outside in the main road just steaming, like fucking like I remember just being like, mate, I love you, like it was one of them drunk nights. I was like, this guy, like, fun, like, it was like me, you, Pete, Kieran, Adam Byrne might have been there, and Heather Anderson.
Heather was there, yeah.
And then Ronan Diamond was there. And
yeah,
he's the king of asking questions. So Ronan, if you're listening to this, like he literally will ask you like till you die. Like, even Gaddis was saying to me, he was like, yeah, Ronan Diamond was there. He asked a lot of questions. I was like, yeah, well,
inquisitive boy.
We're all somewhere on the spectrum, you know what I mean? So, so.
But that was a nice night, because it was also, because I've been like a freelance creative for so long now, I've never actually
interacted with everyone.
Yes. Yeah. Like, I had a Christmas dinner, actually. That's one of the things. Yeah. It's just like, I don't have a regular job where you go out for a Christmas piss up.
Yeah.
I just make one-man shows for children. That's a sad Christmas dinner alone.
Can you pass the Brussels sprouts? You're like, no, music first. They're starving children. I'm talking about. The fuck am I on about? But yeah, no, that was a good night because I did comedy the other way around from you, where I did like
the normal way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was like
you and most people, I think.
I was like, should I do a solo show? And everyone went, no, don't do a solo show. And I was like, why? And they were like, you're just not good enough. Don't do the solo show. And I was like, right, fuck you, Jesus Christ. So I did a live podcast instead, 26th of May in the Sunflower Bar. Yeah, so like that's literally, I was like, I don't have enough material to churn out an hour, and that's why I went, oh fuck it, live podcast, because I can talk shit for an hour, but I can't do material for an hour, you know.
Yeah.
Because even if I get like a 20-30 minute set, like 15 minutes into it, I'm like, let's just talk, Days, what's happening, you know. So you seen proof of that. So literally I was meant to do 10 minutes, and then I was like on like 12 minutes, and I goes, what time am I on here, Ross? And he goes, you have a minute or two left. And I was like, alright, fuck it, do some material quick. You know. So yeah, no, I did it like the opposite way from you, which was do every shitty open mic that you can do in the country, down your hole as many times as you can, and then just, you know, either kill yourself or keep going with it. So, you know,
yeah, I mean, there's always options.
We're on the fence, you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, but no, that's kind of cool that you like just went straight into big show. Then
well, I think it's just because I kind of felt like a bit of a cheater just because I'd had so much stage time, you know. So like, but there's a big difference between doing a show for 6 to 8 year olds, which is a lot of like mime and stuff like that.
Your own version of it, you know what I mean? It's not like that's your own version of open mics, you know. That's not like you're coming straight into like doing an hour long show with nothing behind you, you know. That's like the CV's still fucking pretty hefty there, like, you know. No matter who it is you're performing to, you still performed beforehand, you know. Yeah,
exactly. I've got stagecraft and I've got timing, and
exactly. And a lot of people do just appreciate like it's like lighthearted but dirty, you know. So it's like different whenever like someone will come on stage and be like, the fucking DUP are doing this to me, and you're like, oh mate, alright, whatever the fuck, you know. Someone will come on and be like, oh, I'm so depressed because I'm on antibiotics now or something, you know, whatever you take for depression, and you know,
antidepressants.
That's what
the clue's in the name there.
Well, who knows? You could have an infection that's depressing you, you know. So
I feel like no matter like what time you do this podcast, I'm like, are you hungover?
I know, every single episode. That last one I did with Darren Matthews, holy shit, I was sitting like this in the fucking like he was like talking to me, and I was all, what? Oh, sorry, we're live. And he was like, we've been doing 40 minutes. I was like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'm, like today I actually am not hungover. I took a migraine last night, which was fun. So
well, it's got to be something. That's probably the reason why you're not hungover then.
Yeah, it's just weird. I took a migraine and I have to take these like weird like tablets that leave me high as fuck for like a few hours. And last night whenever I came home, because we went to, big fan of the Belfast Giants, love the ice hockey, and went to. Because they were.
I used to play for the Belfast. I didn't.
I was like, I sort of fuck. I was like, quit comedy now. Just fucking do something else. You've done so much cool shit, and you're fucking talking to open micers in the pub. I was like, go fucking roof the SSE or something. You know what I mean? Go open for Paddy Raff or something. You could fucking do it at this point, like, you know. Sorry, I pulled my tongue out of your hole for 2 seconds. But went to see the Belfast Giants play. We went to a Franklin bar in Belfast, on Franklin Street, and it was like we were watching it on the TVs in it, and they won like fucking 6-3, and we were all class and all, and I took 1 pint before I head home, and for some reason it just triggered a migraine in me, and I was just lying in bed at like 10 o'clock last night, just high as fuck with a migraine medication. So that's the story of why I'm not hungover today. It's weird at this point that I have to give a reason why I'm not hungover, you know. Anyone else is just like, oh, were you drinking last night? Oh no, I wasn't. Oh, cool. And they're like, why weren't you drinking last night? You know, it's like,
it becomes an alarming thing when that's the case.
Yeah, to be fair, because I was talking about this on the Pete's episode as well. I know this is your episode, sorry, but I just get a lot off my chest. But I lost my job. I was telling you about this.
Yes, you were. Yeah.
I lost my job last week. Still haven't found a new one. Fucking. I've enough money to keep me going for a week or two. But and ever since I lost that job, I've been drinking like through the week. Like I was always in the mind frame of like drinking. By the way, you can't say shit. Every time we talk about recording, you're like, "Oh man, I'm so hanging right now." And he doesn't.
Oh no, I'm the biggest hypocrite.
But I was like,
if I'm not hungover, I'm drunk. I mean, that's it.
Yeah, but it was like, what was I talking about there? Fuck, might as well be hungover. But yeah, what was I talking? Oh yeah, I was like you can tell that Jack Daniels. This was I started drinking this on Wednesday, and it's not completely empty, but I had that empty bottle of Jameson there to chase it with. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Anyway. But found out that I'm a big Jack Daniels guy now. I always thought it was Jameson in the head. I always thought I was like,
you're a bourbon boy?
Yeah, a bourbon boy. What? That sounds like a meal stripper.
Yes, you saucy little bourbon boy, Justin. Is that who you are?
That made me kind of hungry for some reason. I don't know why.
You're thinking of the biscuits now?
Yeah, I was like, bourbon creams, bourbon. They put bourbon in barbecue, don't they? I was like, oh, imagine some ribs.
Oh, Jack Daniels honey glazed bourbon sauce. That's pretty good. That is a saucy little bourbon boy.
I know. You're not a vegan or anything, are you?
No.
You come across as a kind of guy who would be vegan.
It's just because I've got long hair and look like Jesus, isn't
it? I wasn't gonna say it, but like, do you think Jesus was a vegan?
No.
Vegas?
No, I don't think so.
That's why I call it Vegas. No, but why do you? Oh no, this is why I'm talking about the tangents. Holy fuck. Yeah, no.
Why wasn't Jesus?
What exactly? That's a fucking Joe Rogan episode. See, Jesus was actually not a vegan. He fed fish or something to the 5,000, didn't he?
Yeah.
Pescatarian.
Pescatarian.
Yeah. Oh, well, fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. He was kind of a pest, wasn't he? But. Anyway, fucking hell, that's the Christians not listening anymore.
Were they listening, Justin? Were they listening before?
To be fair, a lot of people who listen to this, shout out you guys who do listen to this, we get way more listeners than we do viewers, which is weird.
That's good.
So Spotify booming, YouTube has took a bit of a dip. So keep watching, watch the video versions, and you know what? Right. Don's getting his dick out, quick! Go over to the video version and watch it, yeah. There we go. Yeah, we'll keep that in. If they did or not, we get the views up. But would you be a big foodie? Would you like food? I know people are like fucking weird about it. Like, cause I'm weird. I'm either like I'll only eat for sustenance, so I will literally just eat enough to keep me surviving.
I am similar. I think back in the day, I used to be a bit of a foodie. I used to love Jones for certain things. Yeah. Used to be well into fizzy drinks and stuff like that,
right.
And then
bad boy,
I know life happened, and then basically I stopped eating, started drinking, and took up comedy.
Right. So do you not? I was gonna say, I thought you said stop drinking there, and I was like, do you not? Wait a minute. I was like, yeah.
Pretty sure we all know I drink.
What is your drink of choice?
Don't make me choose amongst my children. If I could only drink one thing, it would be red wine.
Red wine. Oh, you big wine guy. That's what I was. I was like, is he a vegan? No, he's a red wine guy. That's what it is.
So the two are synonymous.
Yeah. If you have long hair, you drink red wine in like apartments in New York, and you're a starving artist. That's all it is. You know.
Yeah.
And I only drink red wine if I'm already drunk and there's a dinner involved.
Yeah.
So I'm not like a big guy like that. We went to a bar in Dublin one time, and it had real red wine energy. If you get what I mean. Like, it was were you there when we went? Yeah, we went to see Schoolboy Q, and we went to a bar afterwards, and the bar was somebody's apartment. Do you remember we went into it, and it looked like the apartment from Friends or something, but there was like just a bar in the corner, like pulling like draft beer, and I was like, "What? We're in someone's house right now," and there was a bouncer at the door, so. You give me that kind of energy, like.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, my house is definitely much more of a shithole, and there's no taps.
Yeah, where are you from originally then?
I am middle class County Down wanker.
Right,
one of them.
Oh, you're out that direction as well. Then my girlfriend's from Killinchy.
I went to primary school in Killinchy.
Did you?
Yeah.
This is weird if you know her, but because I know Jordan Robinson lives out there. He lives in White Rock. Not to give away his fucking address.
Does Jordan live in White Rock?
Yeah, well, I think he's from there. I don't know if he lives there now, so don't fucking go looking for him. You don't know which Jordan I'm talking about. Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, but yeah, so he lives out in White Rock. Lived out there. So.
Wow, well, there you go. I had no idea.
Yeah, there's loads out from there. Is Dundrum not out that direction, or am I thinking of somewhere completely different?
Dundrum is further down. It's towards Newcastle.
Oh, is it? Yeah, right. Is that not County Down then as well?
It is County Down.
Oh, yes, yeah. Jack McGee's from there, so yeah. So many of them. I mean, all the funny people come from County Down.
Exactly. I've got a place that I wrote all of Peninsula in a place in Dundrum as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Unreal, yeah. Where was your first show then?
The first show was in the Strand.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I got mixed up there with Stand in Scotland? I was
No.
I was like, he just went over there, and you're like,
Strand
fuck,
Art Centre, the cinema from
yes,
East Belfast, so it was in there.
Dave Elliott did his live podcast there.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I know of it now. Yeah, no, I'd love the gig there. It looks like a really nice room.
Yeah, it's a really nice, it's a really cool space. I did a music video there as well, which was really cool.
What's the Mac hold then?
The Mac.
Do you know what it?
Well, I'm upstairs at the Mac, so I
Right.
think it's about 140 or
Unreal.
something like that. So
Jesus. Yeah, so get your tickets to 13th of May, the Mac Peninsula, Dan Leith. Yeah, I'll actually put the poster up as well. Put all of them up.
Yeah.
I just because you asked me for a poster, and you sent me over like these really good images, and I was like, I'm not this good, you know. I was like, I'm gonna just be able to put some text over these. I was like, what am I supposed? Like, you sent me over that one of you with the fucking keyboard and like the sand, and I was like, this is a class photo, and I was like, I'm gonna have to put like some shitty text over this, and I was like, fuck, because mine, when I do a poster, it's usually like from scratch, and then I just like cut out people and like put them into it, you know. And like, because I like using colors and stuff, but you sent me that, and I was like, this photo is unreal, what the fuck. And then the photo of you looking like, you know, looking like a lord somewhere, you know, you look like
yes,
I'm gonna put that photo up right now, so if you're watching or if you listen, go over to the video version, you'll see what I'm talking about. I bet you have that photo, just the plain photo, as like a big poster in the background.
Oh no, I don't. I wish. Well, I wouldn't do that. I don't like looking at myself. But
put
like,
it behind your bed so you don't have to look at it.
But that was taken. I got headshots done by this guy Nathan McGee,
right?
And he had seen his like portfolio and saw all these amazing moody looking photographs like that one.
Yeah.
And the amazing thing is, I went round to his house, and he lives in the Holy Lands,
right?
And that's at the top of his stairs. It's like a green piece of paper,
right?
And you're cramped in, sitting on a wee seat, and he gets these majestic images. He's a genius.
Yeah, that's
like, he was just like, the light comes through this window so nicely, so you'd be like, turn this way, and I have to like straddle the banister and be like, oh.
Your legs hanging out through the like the holes of the banister.
Absolutely, like it was that cramped and weird, and yet the results were just like, I couldn't believe it.
That is crazy, you know.
And I was, you know, desperately hungover that day as well. And he made me look that good. So
yeah, shout out him, you know. But yeah. So because like that's a photo I should have done that for a laugh. I should have got that printed out in like an A1 page with a big frame around it, you know, like these ones.
Yeah.
Like, and just have that, like, and you can put it up in your room just above your bed, and then anyone you bring home just is scared shitless.
I mean, I've got a lot of weird shit in my house, Justin.
Right.
I've got a lot of weird shit in my house.
Start naming things, right?
I've got a haunted doll called Eloise.
You've already one up me with everything, because I was gonna go, I have weird shit too, but like
I've got a coffin.
Right.
A real coffin.
Is that from COVID or like no? But like, why do you have a coffin?
Well, I do this show called Hallowismus,
right?
Which is kind of like a haunted cabaret between Halloween and Christmas time.
Of course.
And Jordan Robinson did it last year.
Oh, did he?
Because I always have like a straight stand-up comedian, right. So I try to do the middle bit.
Yeah.
Because the rest of it's pretty surreal and weird.
Right.
But a lot of fun. And a theatre group that I did some work with called Spanner in the Works basically messaged me being like, Dan, we have a coffin. We used it as a prop in a play.
Do you want this?
Do you want it? And I was like, I mean, I just had a health scare as well. So
shit, I need to ask you about that.
I was like, that might be a really bad omen, but a free coffin, I'm going to take it.
You're like, oh, fuck, my bed just broke as well.
Yeah. But so I took the coffin, like, and this guy, Bernard, who works for the company, he drove it round, and the two of us were lifting it in so heavy, managed to fit it in my garage.
Right.
As soon as I put it down, he turns to me and goes, you know it was used in all, Dan, right? And I was like,
how could it have been used in all?
Exactly.
And then not like a thing for life, like that is going in the dirt and never coming back up ever again. Did someone just like, how do you like recycle those?
Exactly. You assume if a coffin is above ground, it hasn't been fucking used. But no, it was used.
It's like, no, someone had sex in this. That's what I'm talking about. And you're like, oh, even better. But like, I can't. What? How does that even work? Like, how do you like reuse a coffin?
Apparently, someone had died in England, and his body was shipped over.
Right.
And then the family didn't like the coffin.
Right. It's not like a car. Like, it's not. It's like it's going in the dirt. It's not like, you know, oh no, I don't really like the rear view mirror on that one. You know, like,
I mean, it's a proper vampire coffin. Like, there's no lining in it or anything.
Oh really? So it's just like the wooden, like.
Yeah, it's like proper wooden box, gold handles, not real gold, obviously.
I was imagining, like, you know, like fucking rich guy death, you know, like fucking wake where you can open like one half of it, sort of thing, or like, yeah.
No, it's full on heavy lid,
right.
And
but that's even scarier of why it was used. Like why did so someone brought this coffin over from England, and they were like, yeah, take my dad out of that piece of fucking cardboard. You're like, oh my god, that's scary as fuck. Like, and you just have that in your house next to like a haunted doll.
It's not in my house. It's in my garage.
Oh right.
I mean, I'm not a complete lunatic.
You're like these guys collecting like horror movie.
If I bring a girl home, test one is Eloise. see what they say about her standing on the mantelpiece.
Know what you should do for like a laugh? You should like stand in front of it, and then whenever they're like, "Why are we just standing looking at this doll?" And you're like, "I'm waiting to see if she'll accept you or not." Like, why? What's she gonna do? You don't want to worry about that. Like, just scare the fuck out of people with that.
I know. There's a lot of fun to be had, but particularly with the coffin, because I actually got into it the other night.
Well, Eloise, you're like hungover as fuck.
Not with Eloise.
You're like, I like this coffin, but it's not the one I want to be buried in anyway. So.
But no, I was gonna like. I wasn't gonna. Basically, I got the coffin because I was gonna have this great idea that I'd be pre-setting it on stage. The coffin would be out, and the audience had come in. And then after about 20 minutes, I'd come out of the coffin.
Yeah. Oh, so you're just like there with like a breathing tube coming out of it, like.
Yeah. Well, you can survive. You can survive.
Yeah.
You don't need a breathing tube.
Fair enough.
But yeah. But then I thought, do I want to spend 20 minutes in a coffin that's had a dead guy transported in it before in the past?
People coming over going, "This coffin looks real," and all. You're just there like, "Fucking, please don't open this." Like.
But then I went to the pub the other night and people wanted to see the coffin. And then someone got in the coffin and was like, well, if you're in the coffin, I'll get in the coffin after you.
Ever since you haven't been able to sleep in your own bed.
Exactly. It was surprisingly comfortable.
Like Tom Hanks in Castaway. Like you've slept in the coffin for so long now that if you go to lie in a normal bed, you've like nightmares, like a PTSD vet, you know, like. No, that's cool. I actually did want to ask you, if you don't mind talking about it, what recently happened to you with your saying you had a medical incident, or
yes,
you don't want to talk about it, it's grand, we'll move on. Like,
it's grand. It's kind of old news, kind of serious health scare sort of thing. I thought I was having chest pains for about 3 months,
right?
And silently I was thinking that I was probably dying, you know.
Like, get as many gigs out as I can.
Yeah.
Drop a legacy, you know.
And but then I just I'm really apathetic when it comes to things. I'd like phoning the doctor and stuff like that. I just don't like it. Yeah, so it just kind of went on being like
ordering a Chinese, like, you know.
Yeah. Exactly. I'll have 3 taco chips instead of actually dealing with what's happening. But then, thankfully, my friend Emily was over. We'd just been to the PAV the night before, and I was actually going down.
Yes, that's because I was talking to you, and then like next thing you know, I see this like post about it, and I was like, "Did I cause that? Like, was I the issue here? Like, am I a bad omen?" Or
no, it had been going on since before I knew you, I think. So
right, okay.
It's not on you, Justin.
Yeah, I'll take that, because I was like, we were talking for quite a bit in the PAV, and then it's like next thing you know, you're like, "I nearly died," and I was like, "Oh fuck!" I was like, "Jesus Christ." Scared the shit out of me. That's how selfish and narcissistic I am.
It's all about you.
This is my fault. Sorry. And so you'd been having chest pains for a few months, and then
I was supposed to be going down to the RB comedy night in Madden's, and I went and picked up some supplies in Iceland, of all places.
They sell good guitars in there.
Well, I meant like food supplies, but I mean,
I can't get going with chicken nuggets. Like,
exactly.
You need the chili chips.
Need the nugs. But I think actually they had such a weird array of stuff for sale as well. Like they had like,
and you were like, oh fuck,
hula hoop fries,
right?
Like they were like potato snacks. They had Space Raiders potato snacks,
right.
Like all of this classic. So like I think this culture shock was too much of me, because then like suddenly the pain got worse and I lost all feeling in my left arm and my face, and I was just like, this isn't good. Got really dizzy, and thankfully my friend Emily was over from London visiting, and she like got me home. It was when we lived a like 4-minute walk from Iceland, and then I was like, I don't want to phone the ambulance because I don't want to bother people, you know. And Emily's
just
like,
kick me under the fridge right now.
Emily's like, this is the reason we have ambulances. Will you please phone an ambulance? So she had to like basically talk me into doing it.
You're like, no, can't do it. You're like, Eloise, will you do it?
Yeah, it could have been Eloise's fault actually. I got
ambulance shows up and sees the coffin and go, "Are we that late?" Like,
but yeah, treated to my first like ambulance ride of all time, and then the guy sitting in the back and he's making conversation with me and he's asking me what I do, and I say, well, right now I'm supposed to be doing stand-up comedy.
You're like, do you know Kit Harington?
He didn't. He went, do you know Mickey Bartlett? And I was like, yeah. He was like, do you know William Thompson? And I was like, yeah. And he went, oh, I love those guys, but I've never heard of you.
That's always the fucking case every single time. I was in a taxi the other week. Sorry, just to go on a tangent. I was in a taxi the other week, driving to County Down, funny enough, and the guy turned around and I was like, oh, I know what the feeling's like, mate, because he was driving a Tesla, and he went, my girlfriend goes, oh, so like, what does this like part do here, blah blah blah, and like, he turned into a wanker. He goes, oh mate, everyone asks me this all the time, I don't really want to fucking answer it again. And I was like, I know crack, mate, I'm a comedian, like I know what the fucking crack is. And he goes, you know Paddy McDonald, hi? And I went, yeah, dude, he's a nice fella, he's really nice and all. And he turned around and he was like, oh mate, he's funny, like he's probably funnier than you. And I was like, you know what, fucking crash this car right now. But sorry, what were you were in the back of the ambulance, and
yeah,
he was making conversation.
Yeah. Well, it just basically that wasn't. I've never heard of you was probably not in the top 5
like,
things I wanted to hear when I thought I might be dying. I was like,
listen, the last thing you ever hear is, you're not that good, mate.
Yeah. Who are you?
I love Mickey Bartlett. That's like imprinted on the back of your retina. Like fucking, you're like, oh shit. That's what you just have going over your head in purgatory. Like fucking, until someone knows who you were. That's, mate, that's your fucking story. Anyway, yes, that was dark.
As long as Mickey knows who I am, I think that's the important thing, you know. I mean, I think he even called me out. I was on a date at the Empire recently, and he knew the date I was with. And was like messaging her being like, here, well done, Dan's really nice. And I was like, this is great. In the middle of a set, he did clock him looking at us, and I was just like
I'll say that happened to me with William actually. I was on a date before my current girlfriend, and William was on stage in Lavery's, and we got planted in the front row, and William turned around and was like, he seen me and he goes, do I know you, mate? And I was like, I've met William like 10 times at this point. And I goes, yeah, you do. And he goes, where'd I know you from? And I goes, what do comedy? And he turned around and he goes, you mustn't be that good then, and walked away. And I was like, fucking William, And he's been on the podcast since, so fuck him. But no, like it is always that case of like, why is that? Why do they always have to compare you to someone who they know, you know? Why do I always get like, you know Colin Geddes, sorry mate, and I'm like, I'll borrow you a blender and all. I'm like, that has zero to do with me whatsoever.
I know, but that's just people, man. I mean, that's also like when I was just doing acting.
Yeah.
Or what I always
like,
hated.
You know Kit Harington.
Well, I mean, it's just like, have you done Game of Thrones? And it's just like, I didn't want to say yes at any given point, because then it becomes all about that, like coming on this fucking podcast. But
you know, I apologize for that, but I don't, because I got some information I wanted out of it. So I'm happy enough with it. But yeah, no. So what happened after the ambulance then? So you were
I didn't die. So
we don't have the fucking ghost of Dan Leith's past here. Like,
well, who knows actually?
I haven't touched you yet, so like, you know, it's Eloise in a mask and something. Walking out of here just zips it down, like gets into the coffin.
But yeah, no. So it turned out to be spasm in my airway.
Right. Oh, fuck. That's even weirder.
That affected my heart, and then it was really scary. But essentially, they gave me this inhaler to take for 30 days.
Right.
Just like one puff a day. Yeah. And
you haven't had any issues since then, no?
No. I'm
not that you're aware of.
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, mental health wise, it's in the bin, man. But
mental health wise, you're lying in a coffin with a doll, like
exactly.
So, you know, no, that's a crazy story, man. Actually, because that's like that. Like, imagine the thought of like, what do you do in a situation like your social anxiety? You feel like you're about to die in an Iceland. You just accept it, you know what I mean? Just put you in the fridge and sell you, you know, like.
Exactly. Well, I mean, they say that your whole life flashes before your eyes, but all I went through my head was
raiders.
Like, it was just like, shouldn't have gone to Iceland. All these novelty snacks.
This is my mum's shop in Iceland. That's the name of the fucking episode. I need to write that down. No idea. Oh fuck.
Are you not recording everything?
Yeah, but I have to go back through it all to find it. So, but yeah, I'll just go back through it anyway. Because I know where a clip is in this anyway. So yeah. But no, that's wild. So you're all good since then, yeah?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I was supposed to get like a 24-hour ECG and stuff like that, but then the hospital never got back to me.
Fucking NHS.
But, until I feel like I'm dying again, I probably won't worry.
That's the Catholic guilt. Sorry, I don't even know if you're Catholic, but you've got Catholic guilt now.
Well, I'm Jesus. I made it all.
Oh yeah, you are Catholicism, DAN LEITHism. Yeah, but that's crazy, man. What do you even think of that? Did you have like a whole new lease of life after that, or?
Well, I got better using fucking social media anyway. Like if you look at my Instagram page, like it's insane. It's just like 3 posts every day of me pursuing comedy and doing gigs and being like.
Definitely. That's what I thought straight away after. I was like, if he ends up all right after this, he's gonna riddle himself in these gigs. Like, I'm not gonna get a spot anywhere anymore. So
no, I'm still pretty bad at it, but I mean, I'm just a lot better than what I was.
No, what's a goal of yours in comedy then, or music, acting, or whatever you're up to?
I don't know, man.
You're just playing it by ear and just
I just like
going with the flow.
Like I spent like the first quarter of last year writing and rehearsing Peninsula to no one. Like it was weird. I was in this circular house in Dundrum that kind of like looks out in the water, and there's like neighbors nearby, but they were taking their bins out every now and again, and I'd be standing there with like miming having a mic because I practice everything, because being a musical comedian, it's like I need to know when I'm putting it in the mic stand, when I need to take it out, when I need to pick up an instrument.
That's fucking
yes. Yeah. But I was standing there one day with my shirt off, which is a semi-spoiler. So
if you want to come to see him in a minute,
I might get my dick out if that works.
If he doesn't already have it out, listeners, yeah. So if you're looking to view his dick right now, go see it at the Peninsula. Anyway, sorry, continue.
But I was standing there with my shirt off, miming holding a microphone while this guy was taking his bin out. Right. And he just kind of stopped and looked at me, and I didn't break stride. I was just like, you just doing my bit to no one.
And he was like, oh God, the schizophrenia's got him.
Exactly. And I feel like that was bizarrely a high moment for me, just putting that work into that show to seem like I was being a crazy person.
Yeah, and then that's what it's all about. You need to like have like that switch in your brain that just says fuck it. You know what I mean? Just whatever. Like, so anyone that's listening to this who is thinking about doing comedy or music or whatever you want to do, like, you know, there is just a switch in your brain that says fuck it. The people in your hometown are fucking, they can laugh at you or whatever you're doing, but like, you need to just fucking go head first into something, like, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
So you need to stand shirtless in your window with a hairbrush.
Exactly.
And fucking pretend you're wanking to the neighbours, you know what I mean? So you're like, my family's gonna listen to this, and I'm just like,
it's fine. Man, my mum's come to me shows, so she knows. I think the first time she heard me do comedy, she gave me the number for therapists afterwards. And then she saw me, I was performing at the Sunflower there on Wednesday, and she came and she was just like, that was great. I love that cartoon song. So I mean, she's fine, she's desensitized now.
It would just be so funny if it was like, you know, like that just led into like severe homophobia. It's like, as long as it's cartoons and not fellas, fuck's sake. Like, this is where every mum goes. But no, that was a blended show that James Downey was running, wasn't it?
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
I think he was running it anyway. But,
he was, yeah.
How did that go?
Really good. Yeah, it was a really nice night. That's kind of like the sort of stuff that Adam would have done. Yeah. And that Adam Turkington I mentioned before that got me into the entire thing. So it was interesting then, you know, because Pete Giffen was on as well. I was going
to say, he was text me about it. He was saying about, he was like, I don't know how this night's going to go, because music and comedy shifting between each other usually ends up where the comedian's worse off. It's always the case where the comedian ends up in a situation where people are going, there's not even a guitar, nothing there, you know, like, so there, you know, like sometimes that, but Pete was like, oh, fucking felt class, it was unreal, everyone was unreal at it, and then he was like, DAN LEITH currently on stage blowing the roof out of the place. So that's why I was going to ask you about it, because he had said, if Pete says you're blowing the roof out of it.
Yeah, I think that was Pete's first time seeing me.
Oh, was it? Yeah. Right, yes. Because I was talking about how you were coming on the pod, and he had said that he hadn't seen you live yet, so yeah.
Yeah, Kieran still hasn't seen me live. He nearly made me headline in the American, but I think he was held up in the Balmoral.
Right.
So
yeah.
He came for a drink afterwards, and it was just like, one day you'll see me.
Kieran, I love how that's like, you know, that you need their like. That's how I feel as well, because I'm like, whenever I need people's approval, I'm like, oh, I'd love for like a bigger comedian to come say it. Not that Kieran's bigger, but you know what I mean. I'm like,
I don't need their approval.
Yeah, no, that's I'm just. But it's like, it's always that thing when someone goes, oh, I haven't seen you yet, and you go, well, come fucking see me. I want to do good in front of you, you know? Or whenever they do come to see you, because I think that was pretty much the first time you had seen me gig.
That was the first time I hadn't seen you before either, so it's just like it's odd finding. I haven't seen Adam yet. You see,
Adam can go from very lighthearted to like suicidal on a gig. And
brilliant.
I love watching Adam, because I get a laugh out of it, because he'll be killing, and then he'll go, fuck it, this is time to try a new joke, and the new joke has no business being funny whatsoever, and it doesn't land, and then he'll just go depressed the rest of the set. He's so bipolar when he's doing gigs, I swear to God. If you're ever going to see him. But yeah, I didn't really give you much to see, because I did a minute and a half of material right at the end of that set.
Yeah,
so
exactly. I still feel like I haven't seen you.
Yeah, you seen me go on a rant for 10 minutes. That's what you said. To be fair, those guys in the crowd at the American, there was like a gay couple over here to like the right of the stage.
Yeah,
like
they were good crack.
And they again had no business being gay, because them two looked like two fucking Hell's Angels, like, you know, two guys in leather with bald heads, which usually is, you know, like stereotypically gay anyway. But yeah, like they were just there, and they were the best crack of the whole night. Like
they were.
I was having such a laugh with them. So if they, I'm not sure one of them followed me after, but either if you did, fucking yours were great crack. But yeah, I said they look like, if us three had a threesome, it would look like a shitty version of No Way Home Spider-Man. Yeah. And then he turned around and goes, no way homo, and I near fucking died. I was like, oh my God, that was a belter. I was like,
that was an absolute fucking belter.
I was like, I'll just set the mic down at this point, because I'm not topping that.
Yeah, I think Ross was just like, are you coming on next to the guy after as well?
Yeah, no, they were great crack. The whole crowd was, because whenever I was talking to the Canadian that you said that got really drunk, she or high or whatever the fuck was happening there, she was just like, I felt like I was talking to like a just an inanimate object that was responding, because I was talking to her and she just hadn't a clue what was going on around her. I was like, oh, what are you enjoying about like staying here? And or I can't remember what I asked her. It was something to do with food or something. And I goes, oh, what did you get to eat? And she went, oh, poutine. And I was like, you travelled this whole fucking way and you didn't even like try like potato bread or nothing, like, you know. And she was like, oh, poutine's great. No, it's better than your food. And I like fucking kicked. I was like shouting all over the stage and all. I was like, it's fucking a gravy cheesy chip. Fuck you. I was like, there's no reason. She was like, I was like, oh, what's the difference between a gravy cheesy chip and the poutine? And she goes, I don't know, culture. And then I kicked off again. I was like, you think we don't have fucking culture here? Like, you know, I was like, we are culture. But that was a really good gig. Yeah, that was a pointless story for you. But
you should tell that at parties, Justin.
I should. About poutine, the poutine killer they call me, the poutine homophobe. But no, it was a really good gig. I really enjoyed that. What have you got coming up next, bar your solo show? Have you any gigs coming up or anything?
I do. Like, I should have probably taken note of this to publicize them. Yeah, I'm doing the Rock Road Social.
Right. The McGee one, the one in Derry.
Yeah,
or Londonderry if you're wrong.
Then I'm doing brickwork as well.
So you're just heading up fucking that direction in general then, yeah?
Just a couple of times.
Yeah.
I'm on in Brixton on Tuesday.
Right.
In
Brixton?
London.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Doing that.
Any listeners from here is like, I'm not going to that one, fuck off. Flying over. Oh, that just reminds me, there was a girl who flew the whole way from Scotland to come see like Dave Elliott and Aaron Butler the other night in Ben Madigan's, and they were shitting themselves in the corner. They were like, oh fuck, I hope she doesn't talk to me. Sorry for exposing you space, but they literally like they were like, because they were talking about her beforehand, they were like, she's like the biggest comedy fan and all ever, like she literally flies over here just for gigs. And then like Aaron Butler came back from the bar and Dave goes, did you see who's in the crowd? And Aaron was like, yeah, I went the whole way across the other side of the room, I didn't want to see her. And I was like, oh my God, I was like, I'm in the middle of like comedians drama right now. This is fun. But yeah, so you've got Brixton, you've got Brickworks.
I'm doing Giuseppe's Newton Ards on the 29th.
That is a class gig, by the way.
Is it? It's good.
Wee tight, like literally it's the size of this room.
Because I went to school in Newton Ards and.
Oh, did you? Oh, yes.
And this is, I don't know if this is my my way back. I don't know.
No, you're they'll let you back in now, like Batman or something. Like,
I don't know.
You're now excommunicated from Newton Arts, which isn't really a bad thing. But yeah, I did a joke in Newton Arts about Stephen Nolan, and I was killing up until I did it, and I went Stephen Nolan, and then the crowd just went, and I went, fuck, that was like some cult shit there. I was like, that's crazy. But yeah, no, that Giuseppe's gig's really good. Shout out to Nico Doyle who runs that. He I think they'll really enjoy you because they're literally they love that kind of humor, like, you know, lighthearted but a wee bit dirty. So yeah, I think you'll fucking roof that.
And then I'm doing a Sunflower Comedy Club on the 30th as well.
Oh really? Yeah. Of this month?
Of this month.
April or May?
Yes, April. Yes.
Lovely.
I've just told you a whole bunch of dates in the wrong order.
Just show up to them bars at some point, and if Dan's not there, just come again every day until you see him, right? So.
Or just buy tickets to Peninsula in the Mac, exactly. 13th of May.
13th of May in the Mac. Peninsula, Dan Leith. Yeah.
I think everyone was surprised that the title wasn't Penisula. I think a lot of people read it as Penisula just because of the subject matter of my work.
See, I only found out what a peninsula was recently. So I whenever I read the word, I was like, I know that word, you know. So yeah, because if you'd have sent me that before and goes, oh, the name of the show is Peninsula, and I'd have read it like Penisula, that's Penisula. But no, that's I still only vaguely know what it is. It was because we were in this bar called the Second Fiddle in Belfast, and a load of like my girlfriend's friends were there who are all from Newton Arts and all, and this guy who was singing, he had no business having, like, he was wearing a wig for one, but the wig was like greased back with like oil in it because it was too black to be his normal hair. He was about 60, you know, and he goes, shout out to the Peninsula girls in the corner, and then I was like, what's a Peninsula? I was like, is he calling them like prostitutes or something, or like what is that like a fucking term for, like, you know, like sex slavery or something? I was like, what the fuck's happening? Because he was a creepy dude, you know. Well, like them guys who, like, you can tell they still go to the gym in their 60s, but they're like, they drink too many pints. If you get what I mean. I don't know how to explain that, but I
think I get the picture.
Yeah, Danny DeVito, that's what I'm talking about.
The very one. I forgot he was behind me.
He only realised when he put his hand on your shoulder like that. But I'm doing the Portside Inn 4th of May. Come buy tickets to that. Dave Elliott's headlining it. It should be a fucking belter. The last one was class. Live podcast 26th of May. I'm doing all of them out in the wrong order as well. I have no idea what I've got other than that. They're all over the place. Just check my Instagram for it. Follow Dan Leith on Instagram. We'll probably wrap it up about here because we're hitting an hour here. So follow Dan Leith on Instagram. Come to a show in the Mac Peninsula 13th of May. Dan Leith. And come to the live podcast, User Hectic Live Podcast 26th of May in the Sunflower Bar. Anyway, thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate you coming down the whole way down for this, or whole way up, or wherever.
Just a whole way round and round and round
the
peninsula.
Roundabouts. Yeah. The roundabouts. It did 16 roundabouts before he hit the second one. So. Yeah. But and it doesn't even, no way, like the roundabouts. Sorry, just a side topic. The roundabouts come in like a straight line up that way if you're coming off the motorway or wherever you're coming from. They go in other directions as well. So there's roundabouts there's like side quest roundabouts. Yeah, so shout out Craigavon. Yeah, so thank you again for coming on.
No worries.
I'll put all your stuff in the description and come see a show. Thank you very much for listening, and fucking take her easy, lads, right?
Yeah.